so many checklist items of things that are pretty common anyway. Why not make those available to you guys? So let's just, for instance, let me go into a property here. Let me go to something that I don't have something in, maybe. I'm not sure if I've got anything like that, but in my checklists. Okay, so in here, we can now do with checklists. I've added the little plus button. Normally, checklists get added through your routines. So if you've got an activity, that activity has checklist items. That activity is not considered complete until those checklist items have all been either checked off or marked with the not needed, the slash circle option. At that point, that activity then becomes complete whenever they're all dealt with. But there's times when you want to create a checklist that doesn't necessarily go along with a routine. It's just you want a checklist. So now what you can do is whenever you go in, you can select your checklists. You can choose individually. Hey, I want this checklist. I want this checklist, whatever. You select them, and then it will then put them in to your checklist list. As you do them, clean the vents. Yeah. Verify the year built. Oh, the year built was 2001, and save that. Order the HVAC at this web address. Yes, I did that. Whatever. So with checklists like that, where they're verify field type things, whenever I say verify the year built, whenever I look now at my property details, it's put the year built value that I just typed in the checklist. This makes it really simple for your assistants just to go through the checklist. They don't have to know where to find things. They just go through the checklist. So you can create checklists of things that you want to make sure get filled out, which we historically have done through the routines, but now you can do them manually through just a checklist. Now, if you are dealing with a listing or a transaction or something like that, where you've got checklists of things, you can do the same thing where you can create checklists for that. But you can also now say, well, there are certain checklist items that I want to group together. And anytime, actually, this one doesn't have it, so I'll make one here. Select the checklist. Say, I always want, whenever I do my listing, I always want to make sure I've got my listing disclosure, the sign disclosures. I want to make sure my status is updated, and I always want to verify my price. So I can add that to a standard group called new listing. Whenever I do my new listing, I always want these things to be added to the list. Well, whenever I do that now, I can come over here, say checklist group, new listing, and then it will take anything that was in that group and automatically add it to the checklist of things that need to get done. That makes it really simple then to be able to say, okay, I completed this. Do I have my listing disclosure? It's red, so I don't have it yet. So I can come over here. I can then say, well, my listing document is on the listing disclosure, say residential. I'm just going to grab a document. It's not the actual one, but in this case, I can grab that document. It uploads it. It auto tags it, and then at that point now, that the button now is green, saying, "Hey, we now have a file in there," and it checks it off. If you have the compliance piece that I've been working on with Jose, then you can also have somebody authentic or verify that are the signatures done, all that kind of stuff before that even gets there. But now I can come in here and say, okay, the status is a certain status. Maybe it's, pending at this point, whatever you want to make it. Verify the price. Yeah, that's the price. Or if you need to change it, you can change the price. But the whole idea of the checklist piece is to allow you to create a checkable list of things that you want to verify. As you go through and verify them, and if you make any changes, it's automatically changing the database for you, so that you don't have to worry about where to put it. Where does that field go? It puts it in there automatically for you. So it changed the status to pending for me, and it verified the price was already in there.
So Mark, on that group, could you put the group title above the checklist so that they snug underneath it?
Because
if you have several checklists going, you wouldn't know which items belong to what checklist.
Yes. Hold it. Let me think about this for a second. So in here,
have those 4 nestled under a title.
Under a title? Yeah, we could do that. We don't, but we could. Just have a grouping of the checklists in the list. That's something.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Now, with what we're putting together for compliance, it's a similar type of thing, where you have your checklist pieces here, and we can hit compliance, and then we can ask questions about this. Are we talking about realtor association documents? Is this for single family? It's for purchase. I'm doing buying side only. Well, based off of this compliance check setup piece, you can say, well, you need to answer these questions. Conventional resale? Yes, it is. Or is it new construction? Do I use the standard documents? Yes. And then it goes ahead and shows you which documents are going to be added or not. If I'm doing the listing side, then maybe it says, okay, was the home built before 1978? If not, then nothing happens. But if it does, yes, then we need to verify the lead-based paint. So, all of these fields that as you're answering yes or no or whatever to them, each answer can have different associated checklists with them. And it can be a multi-selection as well. But as you check that, now once I get all this and I hit save, then all of those items get thrown into the checklist for me. And then I can see which ones are filled out, which ones are not. In this case, it wanted to verify who's the listing agent. I've already got a listing agent in there, so it's green, it's good. Where if I want to, verify my lead-based paint document, my other things. So you can go through and make sure that you've got everything. Another piece to this is the compliance side, where you have somebody on your team go through and verify, do I have signatures? Are they the right forms? Stuff like that. And then if they do, then they get approved. Then you could do the CDA or an invoice of some sort. So that's Jose and I are still working through this, but this will give. Now, if you're using SkySlope and stuff like that, you may not even want this. I get that. But for those people that want to at least make sure that everything is right before they send it to SkySlope, this is one option that you could do as well. Having some internal checks based off of what's needed. And then, if your compliance questions that come up need to be changed or whatever, say, oh no, it's the right thing, then it will actually remove the unneeded things as well. So it goes through and it does the corrections of things.
I hadn't thought about this before, but I think I could incorporate it into a transaction checklist. If I put verify transaction side and I have transaction details, transaction side as the field, will it give me a drop down on that?
Yes.
It will.
For if the field that it's trying to verify is a drop down field, so like the transaction, if this, like this field here is a drop down, these choices will be inside of that checklist of items. It's a field verification.
I hadn't thought before of putting those items into the checklist, but that's like a really good idea.
Yeah. And, you know, if you've got somebody that is not, you know, they don't know the software well, they can follow a checklist and be able to go through it. Oh, the other thing that I did do is, I mean, this box is a little bit short. You can click on the little maximize and you can see in a taller, longer box. Some of these different fields, I've added this expand piece to expand them out and be able to see more information, like the notes. You can expand your notes, stuff like that. So some of these smaller tabs you can now expand out. Okay. Any other questions? Sorry for going long, guys.
Just real quick, in the properties tab, and if you go to listing, okay, and I say, for example, I want to add into the listing a URL for like a video or something. Okay, do I do that in the external documents section?
So what you can, I mean, you can do a URL, but if you have it as a checklist, so if I come here, select checklist, maybe I want to create a new checklist item in here. Visit, you know, photos are us, you know, whatever. In which case you can create a checklist item of open URL, and you can put in HTTP, photos are us .com, you know, whatever, and that will take me to nowhere, I'm sure. But if I use that and I click on that, that's going to create a visit photos are us right here, and then I can click on that right here, and it will open up a new window. So, you know, it takes me to that. So if you've got a certain photos website that you go to order your photos, you know, what packages and stuff that you do, you can certainly set them up right there.
Could you create, like, within the marketing details tab, like create a field for, you know, your video links, and then have that as your checklist item where it drops down, so that when you fill that in, it adds it to your marketing details or something like that?
That's where I was kind of coming from, where I thought it would be under external documents, but I couldn't figure that out. And then I looked at marketing information, and if there was just some fields in there, that would be good for URLs.
Well, I mean, you can create custom fields, and custom fields being a URL would be an option.
Because otherwise, like, just referring back to the checklist doesn't seem as, you know, a good way to go, rather than, oh, I know I have this field here, and I know that's where I always put my video link or my photo link or whatever.
So, well, under your, actually, we don't have that. We have it in the property side for the websites and stuff. I can make that. You're just wanting the site URLs for their,
like we have like 4 or 5 different URLs we create about a property, and it'd be nice to have them all in one place instead of keeping them like in a notes document or something.
Yeah. I mean, your external documents, technically, I guess you could do that.
But I couldn't get it to work in external documents.
What type is this? Maybe this is a maybe, let me just do something here. HTTPS.
I get where your question's coming from, Michael. Like, I totally get it.
And I'm just going to grab something here. I just want to see what happens here. So if I
see, I don't have any of those drop downs, and I couldn't figure out how to add them.
Okay. Over here on the right hand side, manage types and groups.
Oh, geez.
So you can add different types of
There
links.
you go.
So we might go in here and say social or marketing to marketing photos.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all. That's all I'm looking for. I just couldn't figure. I didn't realize that
Okay.
drop down
perfect.
there was to manage
So
those.
then I've got that, and then whenever I go to add a URL, I could say marketing photos, and then put in that website, test.com or whatever.
And then could you make that as part of your checklist so that when you're just going down your checklist, you're just entering boom, 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 and that's where it places that link?
Well, I probably could. This right here becomes a merge field in a document, so you can reference this inside a document. I might as well add it to the checklist as well. That's
because that's kind of what you were thinking, right, Michael?
Yeah, exactly. Even I might even put like disclosures or something like that in there. Anything that has a URL that you frequently might want to use.
Mm-hmm.
And before I just couldn't figure out how to get those categories because I didn't see them up in the manage things in the setup. I didn't think to look at that.
Sure.
No, that meets my need right there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then you can order them.
Yeah, and if it was in a checklist, it would make it even easier. But going to that place,
but even as it is good enough.
Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Okay.
Because you could have a checklist item, Michael, that just says, add URLs to external documents.
Right.
And it reminds you, oh, okay, go over to my external, add these URLs, and then you check that done.
Because what I found is for the person who was managing this, they had to remember, oh, some stuff I had to put in the listing, some I have to put in the property details, some I have to put in a transaction. But now if I just group it all into a checklist, like it's pending, it's buy side, whatever, it works. That works really easy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I mean, I could add another item in here for external documents, URL, and then it just be another checklist item that gets filled in if the field is there. The only challenge is knowing if you've got multiple. So like in this case, if I add another one for marketing documents or marketing photos and add another one, not that you would necessarily do this, you just want to make sure they're unique, is test2.com is what happens in that case. So now I've got two that are marketing photos with two different things. So in a checklist, it would need to be able to do similar to the way I do party members in a checklist, where you can select more than one item and then it would show them in there and you can add and delete them. Because a checklist on a party member is the same way. So like if I come here, let's add a checklist item for I don't have one here. Let me add seller's or listing agent or buyer's agent. I'll do listing agent. Listing agent. In this case, I want it to be a party member validation, and I want to choose which party member type. In this case, listing agent. Once I have that, party member validation. So now whenever it looks at this, it says, here's my listing agent is Cody Stepp in this. It went ahead and figured out that in the party members, I already have a listing agent for Cody. But so it knew ahead of time that it's there. But maybe it's co-listed. So I can come over here and add Mark Stepp as well. So I come here. I've got lots of mark.step test items. Let me just grab JoJo as a second one here. So it added JoJo to the list with Cody. Now, if I go to my party members, you'll see that JoJo's in there as a party member as well as Cody. So it helps make sure things are in the right place by doing it with a checklist. and you don't have to know where to put everything necessarily. You just have to follow a checklist. Makes it sweet and simple.
Yeah, we pretty much set up all those routines with just all the party members added by checklist. It just is really nice, clean way to do it.